So I'll start by just introducing myself, and then we'll probably get going right away as folks continue to trickle in. So my name is Laura Heidenheim. I'm a settler of mixed European and German Jewish descent, and I am also so honored to be the staff support for the XU Powwow student team. So this week, it's a very full week of programming that our students have been hard at work coordinating. And tonight, we're so honored to be working with the Indigenous Fashion Support Program. But I will post in the chat some of our other events so folks can look at those throughout the week. And I wanted to especially highlight that on Friday at noon, we'll be live streaming our digital powwow, and Saturday in the University Quad outdoor space, we're actually going to have a family event and vendor market. So all those things to look for on our website. But with that, I'm honored to introduce Mary Wildman, who is the facilitator for the Indigenous Fashion Support Program. So over to you, Mary.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm going to be presenting our presentation for the Indigenous Fashion Support Program, and I hope you all enjoy. Toronto is the dish with one spoon territory. The dish with one spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and the Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. Now about me, my name is Mary Wildman, and I am the IFS lead for the program. I am from Curve Lake First Nations, which is located here in Southern Ontario. I am Ojibwe, and my spirit name is Red Turtle Woman. I am a motivational speaker, diversity champion, and an Indigenous advocate. A bit of an overview of the Indigenous Fashion Support Program is it is a free virtual incubation program that supports Indigenous entrepreneurs from across Canada to experience the journey of building or scaling a business in the fashion industry. With a focus on fashion, product, and technology, the program enables participants to sharpen their entrepreneurial skills while developing real-life solutions. Some of the benefits with being in the IFS program is that we have access to 100 Steps to Startup, the Trauma of Money Method, and Shopify, which allows our members to have a 9-month trial of Shopify e-commerce curriculum and support to set up their own Shopify store. We have access to over 40 plus industry advisors with several workshops and programming that are hosted by various Ryerson networks. Our members gain quite a deal of amazing exposure while in the IFS. As you can see below here, one of our participants from cohort 1, Christine, finds it very valuable, our program, and what she gains from it. There's a lot of knowledge that our participants gain. Some of our participants don't even have post-secondary education. So being given like all these amazing tools can really benefit each of our participants and uplift them in such an amazing way. Highlights and successes. We have over 12 teams. We have done 30 internal events, 7 community events. We've had over 160 participants, and we have done over 140 mentorship hours. Some of our teams that you see here from cohort 1 and cohort 2 are, we have lots of beading designers, we have fashion designers, we have a bridal designer, and we have a designer that makes traditional Indigenous regalia, which, as you can see here in all these pictures, these are really amazing, and all of our participants are very proud of all of their achievements that they've done. Highlights, press, and media. We have had the privilege to be shown on Journeys with Char, CBC Yukon Airplay with Dave White, The Eye Opener, Nation Talk, TV On, City News, Indigenous Creatives, Find Community through the new program. We've also been able to raise money within the university through the BIPOC Women in Fashion Prize, which we have been able to raise over $2,600. Now, comes to our mentors and the EIRs. These amazing individuals are absolutely like really the strong leaders of like our whole IFS. We wouldn't be anywhere without them, with their dedication and hard work. We have a business entrepreneur, we have a beadwork designer, a photographer, a clothing fashion designer. These individuals truly make up such an amazing team for the IFS, and I'm so proud to be a part of this as well. One of our speakers that we've had the privilege of having this year so far is Jen Harper from Cheekbone Beauty, Tanya Larson from Quidditch Fine Jewelry, and Chantel Chapman from the Trauma of Money Method. IFS is about community, connection, and mentorship. We are definitely a family community here, and I take very good pride in all of what we learn and what we can give and all the valuable lessons that we just embrace every day as an amazing team. And I'm so glad to share what we have to offer with you. Now I'm going to welcome one of our participants from cohort 2, Rosalee Mitchell from Rayon Creations.
Hi, Mary. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. It's just such a pleasure. I'm so glad that you can be here with us. How about you take a few minutes to introduce yourself and your brand?
For sure. So my name is Rosalee Mitchell. I'm the founder of Rayon Creations. Rayon Creations is my side business. During the day, I'm a full-time social worker, and I service Indigenous youth and children. So I've been doing that for 4 years now. And yeah, I live here in Barrie, Ontario. It's a bit isolated from Toronto, but the population and the demand of the kids that I work with is certainly up this way. So I'm really passionate about giving back in every way that I can. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. I guess it's more like a focus on what I do, but I feel like what I do is a big part of my identity as well.
That's amazing. What are you the most proud of as an Indigenous founder?
As an Indigenous founder, I think I'm definitely most proud of the fact that I can create like anything that comes to my mind, and I can use pieces that resemble Haudenosaunee culture, like the creams, the purples that I incorporate into my work. I kind of have free reign over my creativity, and I love that. And I also love the fact that it's just so empowering to be practicing something that is so meaningful and is certainly a form of medicine at the same time. Like it's definitely something that I'm very passionate about and I love to do.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. Sounds very inspiring. What inspired or motivated you to start your company?
So I would say that like the company was definitely started last year during the pandemic, and I was looking for an outlet to kind of refocus my energy. Like as I said, I am a mental health worker, so I think it was a really challenging time for everyone, and it was certainly really challenging to support the well-being and the mental health of others during that time. So I turned to beading, which actually was kind of like I got my exposure to it from a friend, Onishishin Designs, which is Ashley Lecoussiere. She showed me her style, which is 2-needle flat stitch, and then I kind of learned how to do fringe on my own, and things kind of just expanded like that way. Like it kind of started just through trial and error, like a hobby, and then it just developed into like a full-blown business. So that's kind of where I got my start.
That's awesome. So glad that you were able to find a fellow member to just, grow an amazing relationship with and working relationship to get lots of inspiration from. That sounds awesome.
Thanks, Mary.
Tell us about a significant challenge you have faced while starting your business.
I guess like just off the top of my head, like the number one challenge was probably like just in the beginning, just kind of like figuring out like my worth. And so like when I was pricing pieces, like I was like, well, this is kind of a hobby, so maybe I can like price a little bit lower. But then as things started to expand, I was putting in so much hours into my work. And then I was like, obviously, like the design time, like coming up with my own original designs, that's also time as well. So kind of like trying to find my way in terms of like pricing and establishing my worth in that way. And then of course, like just like the other stuff as well, like you're essentially like you're everything, like you're the social media curator, you're like the packager, you're the designer, you're like the go-to contact person, like customer service support, right? So like just wearing all those hats, it was a bit overwhelming at first, so kind of finding my way in that role, or multiple roles rather.
Yeah, trying to juggle everything at once and not knowing, what you should necessarily do first and do last
Exactly.
can be sometimes challenging for us.
Yeah.
For sure. Where do you get your inspiration from when designing?
Definitely like when I'm outside and I just see like things in nature, like the colors, the hues, even just like a design that might be inspired by like something I saw that day while I was out walking. And then a lot of my work incorporates like precious stones, and I've been incorporating some quills into my designs lately, but kind of keeping things more natural. Like, so there's not like a lot of bling in my work, I would say, but it's just definitely more like organic and natural, and I see a lot of beauty in that.
Oh, that's wonderful. As a follow-up question, before the IFS, were there any programs that you found were a fit for yourself?
Um, so I actually, so interestingly enough, I actually wasn't like looking for a program like when I started the business. So, with that being said, like, yeah, I never really scoped out other types of programs. I just kind of like did things on my own. And then through Ashley Lacoussiere, like Onishishin Designs, like she had been a cohort member and she had just told me like, hey, you should really think about coming on into this program because it's elevated my business. And she told me about all like the wonderful ways that her business had just expanded through her mentorship at the program.
Wonderful. Why did you decide to apply to the program?
So yeah, just like literally a conversation with Ashley, like kind of like got the ball rolling in my mind to like look into it further. And then Andrea and I kind of connected, and she wanted to determine if I was a good fit. And then I was kind of like feeling the program out as well to see if I would be a good fit. And just off of like hearing about like the mentorship opportunity combined with like all the guest speakers, I thought it would be kind of like the best way to like grow and expand, because like when you think about like how people go to school and they get an education to learn, it's kind of like along those lines, like you need to grow and you need to learn, and it's also invaluable like hands-on experience, like firsthand experience and knowledge that you're getting from people who have already been in the business for several decades, right? So I thought that was just the best fit for me.
Yeah, I definitely sounds like you made a great decision. Why was this, or why has this program been important to you?
Um, I mean, just like honing in on what I said earlier, like it's just been invaluable, like the things that I've learned, like the connections I've made, like Mary with you specifically, as well as Andrea, like having that one-to-one connection on a weekly or bi-weekly basis was like really important, because it kind of kept me grounded. It kept me on top of like the business, because like I said, like it's not my full-time career, like it is a side business, but it kept me like accountable for what I had to do and how I could elevate the business further. And then like having the connections with the residents of the program, as well as like the guest speakers, like I just learned things that I didn't have much knowledge about, and so I could kind of take things to the next level with Rayon.
Yeah, I've personally enjoyed seeing your growth since I've met you, and seeing like your new designs and what you're able to bring to the business. And as an entrepreneur, like I'm just like so proud of you, and that you've accomplished so far. So it's just amazing to still see you growing.
Thank you so much, Mary. That means so much.
In your opinion, why are these programs essential to advancing Indigenous businesses?
I think they're imperative to advancing Indigenous businesses because, like, one, like, they're catered for Indigenous entrepreneurs. And so that's being reflected in, like, the guest speakers that come. A lot of them are Indigenous. A lot of the residents, well, all of the residents are Indigenous. And then, like, some of the staff at Ryerson are Indigenous. So I think that when you work amongst, like, entrepreneurs that, like, you can identify with, there's just, like, so much growth opportunity there because you're kind of learning all together, like, trial and error. You feel empowered to kind of, like, take back some of the power, by creating something that's your own and nobody's able to take it from you. And I think that's, like, the beauty of the program, is that, it just creating that genuine connection amongst other Indigenous entrepreneurs who are trying to, like, elevate their business to the next level as well.
Yeah, for sure. And also it's really important, I find, that we as Indigenous people are able to share our gifts and our talents with, the rest of the world who, may not be so familiar with, like, our Indigenous heritage. I think that it's just really amazing that we can just share that and cascade that out amongst other people, just so they can see, like, that we're, like, amazing, resilient people, and we definitely have a lot of talent in us.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, like what I was telling you earlier about, like, Ashley Lecoussier, like, Onishishin Designs, like, there's that sisterhood and camaraderie. Sorry, I can't talk
today. Get it right. It's
yeah, amongst, like, a network of people, right? Like, so she's been so kind to, like, share her craft with me, to share her art with me. And then, like, she's thriving, I'm thriving. So it's like we can all thrive together, which I love. And that's kind of like how the program works as well. And it's set up in that way too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. If you could give advice to your younger self or to any new entrepreneurs that are just starting out, what would you say?
I would say follow your dream, follow your heart, your passion. Like, because I never thought that this would expand, like, as much as it has for me personally. So if you're, like, a creative type, but you're worried about, like, getting your feet wet and, like, getting things rolling, like, just go for it. Like, follow your dreams, and things will, you're gonna learn along the way through trial and error. But the only way you can really grow is to, like, make mistakes, which will just in turn give you more confidence to keep growing, keep trying.
So, how has the Indigenous Fashion Support Program helped you in your business?
I would say it's helped me in so many different ways. Like I said, one of the biggest challenges was certainly creating like a pricing or like a price guideline for my work and pricing my items. And so, like, one of our guest speakers, like you had mentioned earlier, the trauma of money, I think it was called, like, that specific workshop. Like, we just kind of learned how to price our work accordingly to, like, what we're doing. So, like, taking into account, like, design time, like, packaging, the customer service, and then the actual hours of labor that goes into the work. So each workshop I found that I did through the program was very, very practical in, like, helping us through challenges that we would experience as entrepreneurs, just getting our feet wet. So I thought that was, like, just truly an invaluable experience. And then learning from people again, like, connections forged with people who took time out of their schedules to connect with us because they had, like, years of experience and wanted to guide us in a helpful and kind way so that we could flourish in our own businesses.
Absolutely. So, what's next for Rayon Creations?
So I had traveled a bit over the summer, and I took a lot of pictures and I have a lot of memories in my head. So, like I said, a lot of my inspiration comes from nature and being outdoors. So I think the next the next drop for the business would hopefully be something catered towards something that reflects my travels. So look for like a sand and sea collaboration, like lots of blues for water, and then a lot of like tans and browns for sand.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Very, very inspiring. I'm excited to see your new pieces.
Thanks, Mary.
Where can we find your work?
So right now I'm just on social media. So I'm at rayonCreations.com, or sorry, Rayon Creations. So it's RAON Creations on Instagram, and that's also my handle on Facebook.
That's wonderful. Now, I wanted to just ask you one more thing. Just being with Orange Shirt Day coming up on September 30th, I wanted to ask you, what does Orange Shirt Day mean to you?
For sure. I think that's such an important question. I think Orange Shirt Day is truly about remembering like the people that we've lost in our lives, the things that like our ancestors had to endure for us to get to a point of where we are here today, like standing stronger than ever before, and mourning those losses in a way where yes, we're reflecting on loss, but we're also moving forward in a good healing way, and reminding ourselves of the resilience and power that we have to heal and to grow and to progress and to break generational cycles.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Like, there's still tons more work to do with truth and reconciliation, for sure. And like I have said, like before, I would definitely like to invite anyone who wants to educate themselves or learn more about Indigenous culture and history to, reach out to, someone they know that's Indigenous, or, whether it's a colleague or someone, and just actually start like up the conversation, because we can definitely learn a lot from one another by like, just moving the dial and having everything go forward in such a positive way. I think is really important for all of us as a whole, like as a community. I think it's really amazing.
For sure. Yeah. And like you said, like the more, allies are willing to learn, like it just kind of makes things, it provides more of a healing environment for us as our allies learn more about, if they have questions or clarification. I think it helps us provide, coming from us directly helps us in our healing work as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, Rosalee, thank you so much for joining me today on this amazing like fireside chat. I enjoyed having you. It was just absolutely amazing hearing, everything that you've taken away from the IFS so far and where you're going. And we're just so happy to have you. And you're a part of the IFS family. And I see nothing but good things coming for you in the future.
Thank you so much, Mary, and to like the whole program in general, and to like you and Andrea specifically. Like, thank you so much for providing the opportunity and for, providing all of your guidance. I've benefited greatly from it, and I really appreciate it.
No, thank you.
Okay, well, have a great rest of the day, ladies.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if would you be open to any questions? I don't know if anyone has any questions about the IFS support program. Would you be open to that?
Yeah, I'm open to any questions. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll let people just, if they have any questions, you could post in the chat or take yourself off mute. But I might start with one. I'm wondering if any entrepreneurs have watched this and were really excited. Are there first steps they could take to get in touch with you folks, or are there sort of like intake rounds that happen for the IFS support program?
We do have an intake. Like our third cohort isn't going to be starting till the new year, but we are going to hopefully open applications for that in November. So, and we'll definitely have that posted so that people know well in advance if they're interested in joining the IFS program, for sure.
Oh, I see a question what programming is coming up that is open to non-members to attend?
Non-members to attend. We have weekly roundtables that we have within the general fashion zone. If anyone is interested in that, we have different speakers that come and talk, like various entrepreneurs and designers. If anyone's interested in that, can definitely reach out to me, and I will get you set up with with that, definitely, for sure. Does the program, what is the time commitment to the program? Sorry, I'm just reading from the chat. What is the time commitment to per week? Per week for the program, I think absolutely, we strive to have everyone definitely attend like the mandatory things that are set out in the program. So specifically, we have like on Wednesdays, we have a dedicated roundtable where we have external and internal speakers. Like it varies what we have. So I definitely, I think it varies because everyone has a different schedule, but we do usually work with people. We're pretty flexible on their schedule because a lot of people have a full-time job as well that they have to balance. So we try and make it flexible, but we do like them to attend like the mandatory things that we kind of have outlined. And then the program workshops. Yes, we've had workshops in relation to growing your business on social media. Yes, we have. We've definitely, we've had various speakers in. We've had we've had public relations, an Indigenous person from Saskatoon come in and talk about that, growing your business. We've also had Shopify. We've had someone from Shopify come in and talk about building your website and going online. We also have internal advisors that also help with growing their business on social media as well. Also, the participants have met with Andrea and myself to have direct conversation and how they can go about that, because everyone is in a different, I would say, in a different space when it comes to like growing their business. So they're at it, some are like way far advanced, others don't necessarily know how to, start. So we're here to help in any way that the participants are. Did I miss anything? Sorry.
No, I think that's great. I'll just give it a second, watching the chat. If anyone has any more questions, this has been so informative and so wonderful. Thank you. Cool. I think it was so informative. I think you might have answered. Oh, I see Cher. Did you have anything?
Hi.
So what I infer from your last response, Mary, is that this program accepts anybody at any level. So like, even if you just have an idea and kind of see if it's viable, or if you I don't know, have some.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yeah, we take anyone. You can have just a general idea. You could be been in business for like a year or something and already have a product developed. We work at you no matter where your progress is, like wherever you are, where you've started in your business.
Well, thank you so much. If there aren't any more questions, this has just been really exciting. And I know like the XU Powwow always works with a fantastic group of artisans every year. And so we hope that lots of those folks will be interested in the IFS program as well.
For sure. Thank you for having us. It was absolutely amazing to be here with you all, and just be able to present more about the IFS was just amazing. So I'm very excited that we got to do this for you guys.
Thank you. And I'll just post for folks that the XU Powwow team continues to run programming all week, and I just dropped the link in the chat. And a special just highlighting that Saturday we will have an in-person event where there will be lots of those vendors that I just mentioned at the university quad, which is 50 Gold Street right downtown on campus. So this is my last plug for the evening, but thank you so much for being here, folks. It's been awesome.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Have a good evening, everyone.